situated here. Alright, put this phone in here. Alright, using my phone to record here. Alright, here we go. Get this camera positioned just so. Alrighty, I think we're ready to go here, right? Alrighty. Hi guys. Move this bag out of me. Okay. Hi guys, my name is Jam and welcome to another Bishojo action figure live unboxing. Just got this figure in yesterday. It is, of course, the Storm Collectibles Morrigan from Darkstalkers, or in Japan it's called Vampire. The Vampire series of fighting games. Here's the box. Pretty standard Storm Collectibles sized box here. It's a little wider. But yeah, nice artwork on the sides. Nice pixel art on the front here of Morrigan. And a different artwork on this side of the box. As you can see, it says her name. The Japanese name of Darkstalkers is Vampire. And the back has, of course, the photos of the stock photos of the figure. I was kind of on the fence about this figure because I don't know. I've been on the fence about a lot of Storm figures lately. I think my Shiranui, they're my figure, just kind of, I don't know, put a sour taste in my mouth. But they do make some good figures. I do like some of their other figures. So let's get to unboxing this. Pretty standard. I feel like their boxes are a little too flimsy for the size, and my box has a lot of damage on it just from shipping. It wasn't really shipped in a padded box either, so that's probably part of it. But yeah, there's a lot of damage there. Anyway, I think their boxes could be a little more robust though. Anyway, let's cut this open. I don't know, I saw some people post some photos of this online and it looked better than I thought it would look. So hopefully it'll be nice. Oh, I guess we should take a look at the background. Inside the box is the background from her stage in the video game. So that's kind of cool. And that can be taken out as per usual. I'm gonna take that out real fast so we can get a clear image of this. Thank you. And you could use that as a backdrop for displaying your figure as well. So that's kind of cool. And it's nice and pixelated. Not anti-aliased, which is good. It does look a little, I feel like it's a little blurrier than usual though. All right, any tape on these trays? I don't think there is. Alrighty, 2 layers. Let's see what we got here though. So we got the main layer with the figure, 3 alternate head sculpts. I just saw this. 3 alternate head sculpts. We got 4 extra pairs, so that's 5 pairs of hands total. Her bat sort of fireball thing that she does in the game. Forget what that's called. Alternate hair. 3 alternate hair pieces. These are like her wing blades that she kind of uses in her attacks. And oh, what is this? Probably some kind of display stand for displaying the bat fireball, probably. That's what I'm thinking. They usually don't come with display stands for the figures themselves. All right, here we go. Yeah, let's take off this plastic first. Do you guys rip the plastic off, or do you actually take the figure off to get it off. How did they do this one? This is interesting. I don't know what the heck. Not really sure how they got this on. I feel like I have to just disconnect the arm here. Anyway, where does this come off? This is interesting. How should I get this off? I wonder if this can be disconnected for safety's sake. How did they do it? They just kind of smashed it up in there. Interesting. I'm pretty sure they just put the plastic bag on the arms when they assembled it. All right, plastic free. Let's pop her head back on. And yeah, I'm actually digging the way she looks. I was kind of worried about this figure. Mostly because of this piece right here. I think in some of the photos and some of the official photos, it did look kind of weird, and this is kind of why. When you do that, it kind of just pushes into a weird, into a weird little shape there. But I mean, this is kind of how Storm does their figures. They always have these kind of, some people call them diapers, but these sort of soft crotch coverings, and they always kind of have this soft upper body. And this is, yeah, it's pretty much par for the course here. She does feel a little more solid. Her upper body is a little more solid, and I think that's because of all this extra stuff she has. She's got all these extra things plugged into her, like these things, her wings, and of course her arms. But it is still a soft sort of material, and so that allows some flexibility in terms of the neck. I need to cut my fingernails. just noticed that. Anyway, but let's take a look at this head sculpt. Look at this. Focus. All right. And I actually think this looks really good. This looks pretty accurate to the game. Like, I feel like they can be a little hit and miss sometimes. And I was really worried about, well, I think I was focused a lot on on this bizarre inclusion. Like, yes, she does make this expression when she gets hit in the gut, but I mean, yeah, not necessary. Not necessary. I don't. Weird inclusion. Like, I don't. Who's gonna use that? Maybe some stop motion people, right? but if you're just displaying the figure on its own or with other figures, I mean, I just don't foresee people using that much. But yeah, face. I'm digging the face on this, on the default head here. It's pretty sharp. The eyes look nice. Clean mouth, clean lines here. Some very clean lines going on, and that's kind of what I expect Morrigan to look like. Okay, let's see how this, so we can switch out the hair pieces. Well, before we do that, let's take a look at the rest of the figure here. So she does have these. These are, of course, flexible. I don't know if they can disconnect. They do kind of limit how far you can pull up the arm, of course. So I think it, I don't know. I guess you could just kind of keep pushing it out of the way, and that works. But yeah, sculpting on her torso is looking pretty good here. Let's see, she does have her abdomen section, the transition to... I bought this directly from Storm Collectibles, so it's probably not in stock at most importers. I think if you bought directly from Asia, you might be getting it soon. You probably will be getting it soon. If you bought it directly from Storm, you should definitely be getting it soon. So yeah, if you want it, I think that's the fastest way. Just order it directly from Storm Collectibles. Shipping is not bad, you know. Like after shipping, I think it still ended up being cheaper or even a little less than what you would pay at Big Bad Toy Store. Because Big Bad, they always seem to like mark up their figures by quite a bit. Of course, they're including like probably what they paid for shipping to get their stuff shipped over. But even on top of that, I feel like their prices are a little higher than normal. So I tend to avoid them unless they're the only ones left with the figure in stock, or if there's a good sale. But yeah, actually digging this. Legs are looking pretty clean. This is pretty standard for Storm figures. Got her heels. Not a lot of motion here at the ankle, fortunately. And I'm assuming it's because they want to keep that as clean as possible and as not... I mean, if they wanted more room, they'd have to somehow... It'd probably be a lot more gappy, basically. Yeah, I guess it depends on where you live as well. I forget. I feel like shipping direct from Storm is, I think you add like 20 or so dollars to the retail price. So I totally can't remember how much this cost actually. So, but I feel like it's comparable enough where it's like, yeah, it's even if it's a little bit more expensive, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of worth it just to get it faster. But a lot of times, like I usually buy stuff from Ami or yeah, mostly Ami. 5K Toys is a good domestic place to shop though. Their prices are really good. Although I don't think they carry Storm figures, or do they? Maybe they do actually. I've just never bought one from them. Let's see. So yeah, I think this is pretty good. And let's take a look at her other heads while we're at it. Put her down for a second. Let's take a look at this. Move this out of the way. Wait. What is the difference? This one is slightly smiling, I guess. It's very slight. That's a very slight difference to me. Or am I crazy here? And then we have this head, which seems angrier slightly. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this one's definitely like sort of the angry, the more focused. Battlehead, this one's sort of there's a slight smile on this one. Maybe it should have been a little more pronounced though. They're very, it's kind of subtle. But yeah, you can tell she's smiling on this one. But at a quick glance, they almost look the same. And then there's the bug-eyed head, which is totally weird. Not gonna use that one. Hands, we got her. She's got fists on by default. Put them back. She's got some open hands. So I believe that's kind of like when she's throwing her fireballs. It's been a while since I played Darkstalkers. And yeah, these are kind of cool posed hands. I like that. Very soft. Check these out. Oh, another pair of posed hands. They're like trying to claw at you or grab you. I'm trying to think of when she could be doing that in the game. Like, what move is that? I don't remember. I don't really remember her. And then some kind of what is, I'm trying to think of a situation where she would be using these. What is this? Like, I think this is kind of like grabbing. She'd be grabbing somebody, right? Caressing somebody, maybe. She is a succubus after all. And of course you got her bat projectile. That looks pretty cool. It is slightly soft plastic. It's in that in-between where it's like this part feels pretty solid, but the thinner parts feel flexible. That's cool. Let's take a look at her other hair pieces. It's got alternate hair pieces. So she comes with this one on. It's just pretty standard. This one is longer and not cut straight across at the bottom. I'm gonna have to look at the sprites for this character again. Like, does she have like a straight cut? I'm assuming she does usually have a straight cut at the bottom, but I'm sure there's other times where it's just kind of flowing like this. And then this is kind of like for action poses where it's like she's getting her hair blown back a little bit. Very interesting. Her wing blades, her wings can turn into these kind of blade things in the game. And they look pretty good. Yeah. Totally forget the names of these moves. So it's too bad they didn't do. So there's that move where she kind of like flies backwards and has all these spikes coming out of her, or spear-like things coming out of her. Might have been cool to have that, but I can see how that would have been hard to do on an action figure like this. Let's try and see how easy it is to get these hair pieces changed out. These wings on her head are pretty stiff, actually. Feet blades? These things? Oh, or do you mean the move I was talking about? That could have been her feet. It's been a while. I know she does. That's right. She does have, like, her feet do turn into, like, not a drill, but yeah, they do turn into like feet. These are these her feet blades? Yeah, actually they do look like her feet blades. You're right. Like goodness, these are her feet, aren't they? I am totally. I need to play the game again, or maybe I just haven't. I need to look at those. Maybe I just never understood what she was doing in the game when she does her moves. Oh my gosh. But you're right. Yeah, these are her feet. Wow. Today I learned that those are her feet. Okay. I need to, yeah, I need to look at those sprites again. Jeez. Okay, how do we get these off? Okay, obviously it just must pull just straight out here, right? Because, like, yeah, there we go. So, yeah, you just slide that guy in. Boom. Interesting. Very lots of volume here. How do you get your hair to have so much volume? Yeah. I definitely need to play the game again, see what these hair sculpts are based on. Obviously, they're action oriented because they're so big and flowy. Is there really like a huge difference between these two? I, I question some of these inclusions. I mean, I guess this one is kind of like flowing to the side a bit. Yeah, they are. But they've got to be based on the sprites somehow, right? Surely they aren't just pulling this out of their butts. And then this is kind of like, wow. That's huge, man. This will make more sense in like action poses, right? Or even still, I don't know. I don't know if I like it. But I mean, it's gotta be based on what she looks like in the game at some point. Even if it's just for like a frame. It might just be a single frame they're basing it off of. I like this head. Oh my gosh. All right. What's in the bag? This has got to be for her. Fireballs? I should look at the box. No instructions, so you just gotta look. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, that's for that. All right. How are they using? Yeah, so they're using like that for the moves. It's like blowing, the force is blowing back. Okay, sliding. Feet blade. You're right, feet blades. Why do I feel like she uses those in other situations though? Or am I just thinking of the other move? I'm probably thinking of the other move where it's like the spears are coming out of her. All right. But yeah, let's take a look at her articulation. It seems pretty standard. Storm articulation. Ball joint, the head. These little wings are not movable, and they're actually pretty stiff. So I could see these breaking off. So I think that's something you got to be careful with because they're not soft. They're not flexible. Ball joint there. Let's take that off for a second just so we can see this. And usually they have like, usually they have like a internal sort of armature, which allows a kind of joint at the base of the neck, and that appears to be true here as well. So that's pretty normal for Storm. How do they do these shoulders? I'm pretty sure it's just connected with a ball joint in there. They have, yeah, as is typical, they have these little cuppy things to sort of close up the gap between the torso and the shoulder. Like, let's see how far we can do this. So you can like push it around. This is pretty standard for Storm figures. It's kind of how they kind of do it. But yeah, I guess because they use a soft material here, I think the idea is that you can like get a little bit more range than you normally would, since it can deform. But sometimes it doesn't quite work too well if the joints aren't strong enough and if this is just not flexible enough. All right, got another sort of ball joint at the what do you call that, upper torso area, the diaphragm area, allowing her to tilt in all directions. And another ball joint lower here near her abs, which allows her a little more to tilt over even further. Yeah, not too gappy. Pretty, let's see how far she can tilt back. You know, you can actually, let's see, I don't know if this might actually be pushing the hips. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Okay, so I think that's kind of like her. That's kind of how far she can bend back, like that. And then let's see how far she can crunch. I think her like diaphragm articulation has a good range of motion here, whereas this lower point has less range of motion. Like this upper articulation is doing all the work here, pretty much. And then after that, I think it's mostly the hips just bending forward at this point. I'm just pushing the hips now. So yeah, I don't think I think we can take a look at that later if we take the legs off and take off her diaper or her crotch piece here. Back up here, let's take a look at her wings. Yeah. Swivel hinge where it connects to her back. Another sort of swivel hinge here. And another swivel hinge here. So yeah, that's good for the bat wings. Oh, you mean this part right here? Yeah, that's pretty high, right? It's kind of giving like a high-waisted jeans type of pants look. I don't know. But I kind of get why they did it. If you go, this is kind of normal for them, I think. Let's see, what do we have here? I don't know. Is this a good way to do it? I'm trying to think how else they could have done it. But it does feel like something Storm Collectibles would do. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, it's always kind of weird when the character has such like a form-fitting outfit like this, and it's always going to look weird, I think. Even if it's like here's Taki, she's just got a bodysuit on, right? And if you want that articulation, you're going to have that visible cut there. Unfortunately, it looks like she's wearing underwear or something, even though this is all supposed to be one piece. And yeah, it's a little weird looking, right? Unfortunately, even though like the only other solution is to have like an actual soft goods or some kind of seamless body solution. So, but Storm just doesn't do that. All their stuff, like, I don't think they've ever done soft goods, have they? Even when it makes more sense to do it. Like, here's my. And this kind of always bugs me. Like, it doesn't look quite right here. But, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're very much like sculpt. They like to sculpt things. You know? That's definitely their thing, I think. To even if like that's fine, but I think when you're sculpting stuff like this, I think this is like a bridge too far here. Like, I don't like this. I don't like what they did with these things. This is like off topic, but this should have at least been like, if they're gonna sculpt it, they should have sculpted it and articulated it, you know, because these are kind of integral to what she does and like poses. Like, you can't pose this unless you're just like maybe heating it up and cooling it. I don't know. And then you've got to like, yeah. I mean, I wanted to like this figure. I just don't though. uh, I don't know. Like, they could have I don't know. I don't know. Sad. It's just sad. Anyway, back to Morrigan. Let's get her. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would. Like, having it in front of me, it's actually not too bad. Like, it's not as bad as and it's not as underpantsy as looking as Taki here. Like, I really like this figure. I actually like this figure a lot. But it's hard not to like look at this and say, oh, she's wearing underwear or something. Like, that just always kind of breaks the illusion for me, even though I understand why it has to be like that, but it's still just kind of an unfortunate side effect to having her being articulated and sculpted out of plastic, you know? And there's just no avoiding it. I don't think there's a good way to avoid that besides going to soft goods or some kind of, yeah, it'd have to be soft goods. You'd have to have like an actual bodysuit on her. And maybe they should have done that. That would have been, you know what? That would have been actually kind of cool if they just did soft goods from here to like down to here, you know? I think that would have been pretty cool. They could have kept this part sculpted if they wanted to, and then just went soft goods. I know, but then it might be a little jarring. There might be like color differences, but I don't know. Might have been a better solution. Who knows? But I don't think soft goods is their forte, just from what they've made. I don't think they don't. I don't know if they have experience with it. But anyways, Morrigan. So that means if these are her feet blades. Okay, wait. Let's get back to looking at the articulation. Her arms are double jointed at the elbows, and that's as far as they go. Wrists are hinge swivels, pretty typical of figures these days. Let's see how easy it is to unplug. Pretty good. Yeah, they always, I feel like Storm hands are pretty good at swapping them out, mostly because they use such soft plastic for the hands. I think that's really why it's easy, and that's pretty good. They do use a very flexible plastic for their hands. Probably the same as, I don't know, maybe it's the same as this kind of plastic that they're using here. But yeah, that's good. Hip articulation, let's see. Can she do the splits? This is about how as far she can push her leg outward like that. Forward goes about that far, although I feel like maybe it could go further. This thing, it might be just stopping it. If we put both legs up, what's gonna happen? It still kind of stops there. Insert your own caption there. Double jointed knees. Kind of weird that they're stopping it. Like, it can't go any further than this. I would expect them to just allow it to go a little further, right? But it stops there. There's room. There's room. A bit strange. Now, Storm usually doesn't have like a, or at least on figures like this, they usually don't have like a hip cut, or a thigh cut, I mean. So, you can only rotate it from there. And you can't, that's as far as I can rotate it counterclockwise. And then clockwise, it kind of stops there. So if you want to, and let's see. So let's just, this will help visualize how far out she can turn that. So that's about as far as that goes. In case you want to widen her stance or narrow it down, have her. She's got hips. Ankles. Not a lot of motion here, not a lot of range of motion. There's just, yeah, Probably just not enough like a gap there. Not enough room for it to move, really. Rotates. Rotates. I don't know if it really ankle pivots just because of... I honestly can't tell if it's ankle. Just because of the angle. It's also weird doing ankle pivots when the angle of the foot is like this. Yeah, I agree. Storm is like... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna buy Storm anymore, honestly. Toes, okay. Toes, toe bends that far. That's pretty good. And let's get our hands back on. We'll just put this hand on. Wait. Let's put this hand on. I like these hands. These. These are... I like these hands. They're very expressive. Okay. Pretty cool. I don't know. What do you think? She look good? She not look good to you? Yeah, I think... Overall, she doesn't look bad to me. Just standing here. I think, I don't know. I think they kind of captured her body shape pretty well. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. I wish I could just pull up the game right now, get some inspiration, but I don't know about this. I do feel like they could have maybe cut a little more from here, because that's, I think that's the weird thing. But at the same time, I can see how it's kind of smoothing things out here as well with that. Like if they didn't, if there was a bigger cut there, there'd probably be a pretty huge gap or a pretty noticeable gap. So I think they're definitely prioritizing aesthetics in this area, right? And as long as she's standing straight up, she looks pretty good. But then when you bend her leg forward, yeah, I don't think your crotch is supposed to do that. You got... What a strange lap you have. Okay, this is where it looks weird, right? This is where it doesn't work. What's going on there? So that's why that doesn't work. And you just kind of got to reform that. Yeah, it's I can see why they had difficulty here. I'm really not sure. How would they do? How would you do this? How would you? I don't know. What's a better solution? I'm trying to think of another figure that has kind of like this kind of high, such a high cut sort of swimsuit type of thing going on here. Yeah. Very interesting. Wondering, I don't think Rainbow Mika's quite, I don't know. Hold on. I'm gonna go get Rainbow Mika, the SH Figure Arts. Mika, Rainbow. Let me pull her out real quick. Oh, spider. That's a spider. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. All right. Who else? Who else can we look at here? Who else can we look at? All right. So we've got a few. Okay, yeah, Rainbow Mika is not quite comparable. Her, like, this is much lower, so they don't have to worry about that as much. They can just. So that's not quite right. Cammy might be more a better comparison. All right, so here's SH Figure Arts Cammy, Street Fighter 4, 5. Which one is that? I don't remember. 4 or 5. 5. I think it's 5. Okay. But yeah, she kind of has that high-waisted or high bathing suit type of deal, right? You can see they have a much higher cut there. And that works a lot better. This isn't flexible either, though. That's just hard plastic. And maybe that's what Storm should have done. Something more like this. Yeah, I saw a video on the Jada version. And I think it's great. I mean, I prefer the face on this. But for what, for the price point, I think Jade is doing a great job. I mean, just like the articulation on those figures is exceptional. And I'm very impressed. I saw that, yeah, the Jada Cami, her hip articulation looks really good. Like she can do like a really high kick, like better than this one. Like she's almost like pretty much like the assassin figures range of motion, right? Like she can just put her leg almost vertically. So that was impressive, very impressive. I think Jada's face sculpts could use work, but other than that, for the girls, they do guys really well. I don't like Chun Li's face, but like I like what they're doing though. I definitely like what they're doing, and they're definitely like you can tell they're basing the sculpts on the game, on the artwork in the game. For the most part, I don't know what happened with Chun Li. I don't. I think Chun Li's alternate head. I did get the. That exclusive, the exclusive pink version, and I think this head looks better than the normal one, but still not as great as SH Figure Arts or even Storm, in my opinion. But and I don't know, but yeah, I think they're doing a great job for the price point they're working at. I think the articulation is excellent. Materials are pretty good. Sculpting is good. And they're doing a good job with the paint too, I think. For that price point, it's very good. And yeah, totally recommend them. What else? Let's try and put these feet blades on here. So, how does it work? You just gotta pull these boots off, I guess. Yeah. How does it? Let's take a look at this. Right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I was definitely thinking of a different move when I saw these at first. All right, here we go. Okay, they wiggle. I don't want to break this, man. Okay, there we go. Okay. It's kind of a squared peg with a little... But yeah, and then there's a little ridge there to kind of snap it in. All right. Oh boy. Oh, and then so the little notch, I'm assuming, tells you which foot to put it on. Yeah. So this would be the wrong foot, and this would be the... Wait a minute. It goes this way. Yes, this is the right. Wait, are they different actually? Hold on. I gotta check this out. They are different. Okay. Do they need to be different? I guess they do. But yeah, that snaps in nicely. Okay, and then she can do her sort of kicky, slicey thing. What does it look like? So yeah, interesting look. Interesting inclusion. I don't know if it's a necessary inclusion, to be honest. Like, if they had left that out, I don't think I would be like, oh, I don't know, but it's fine. It's fine. I feel like I don't want to just complain because to complain. I don't want to complain just to complain. Including things like that is, I think, mostly a good thing, as long as it's like not hiking the price up too much. Like, I'm sure somebody out there appreciates that, right? Me personally, I don't know if that move is iconic enough for me. Like, I would have rather seen her super fireball, maybe. You know, she shoots her super, and it's like a... What is that thing? Like a bat skull type of shape? I don't know. But yeah, one thing I definitely wouldn't have included is this freaking head, man. What is this, dude? Why? Just want to rip her eyes out. Okay, let's see. Am I supposed to use all these pieces? Okay, this is for the fireball. There are 6 of these. And no, supposed to only use about 3 of them. So, and some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. Lovely. Lovely. And here's the base. It's got 5 holes. We're gonna use, wait a minute. Okay. Okay, 2 of these is, okay, so 2 of them have pegs on both sides. This is for plugging into the base. Sorry, I missed that comment. Where can I pull up the chat? I cannot. That's true, huh? I don't know. That is a good question. But I'm glad it's happening. All right, let's see. All right. Stick a dish in here. And a dish, this is a, okay, so the one is longer. It doesn't really matter, right? All these pegs, most of the pegs are the same size except for the one that goes into the base, and this goes into this dude. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And okay. This peg, okay. This peg is, why does this feel like it's not going in? Okay. Do you guys know what she says when she does her moves? Okay. What does she say? I used to know what she said. But before I knew. Wait, what does she say? It sounds, I mean, the voice was like, I think it was a Japanese person saying things in English, but it didn't quite sound correct. Fireball, fireball, fireball. She look when she does her fireball. She goes, oops. Once you loosen it, I guess it's easier to come off here. It's not snapping. Wait. A little hard to tell. It does cause some paint wear when you do that. A little bit of paint transfer there. It's probably unavoidable since this is seems all fully painted for the most part. Actually, I don't know if this is painted, but it does look painted. It's a very matte type of look to it. All right, snaps in. There we go. Boom, boom. Get her feet. She kind of does it's like she's shooting it out of her fist. Boom. And then she's like holds her arm like she's like her arm is the gun. Is that what this is for? Is that what these hands are for? Holding her own arm like a gun. All right, can she get it over there? But basically, she should be like putting that on her arm. You can do it. You can do it. Because they show it on the back of the box. Maybe. You gotta squeeze it. This is where. Okay, all right, hold on. Let's get these arms pushed in as far as they can go on their own. Let's give them some. And this is definitely gotta rotate there. Let's utilize, just extend her elbow as far as possible outwards. Maybe even. Lies. Okay, here's what I'm trying to, just for reference, I'm trying to do that pose, right? Where she's got her hand on her arm right there. All right. And maybe. I should give up. I should give up right now. This is not gonna work. Not gonna work. Almost. She can almost do that. I don't know how they did it, honestly. I bet, since you can't see her arm, since you can't see her other arm, they just disconnected the hand. Put it right there. There you go. I did it, guys. That looks right, doesn't it? Anyways, just having a bit of fun there. Okay. But yeah, she would be shooting that bat just like that. And you can use her big poofy hair for maximum accuracy. Oh my gosh, this is huge. This is just almost unwieldy. It's just, what? How are you supposed to? How? Get it in there. You can do it. You can do it. All right. It's tight. Like tight. Alrighty. So, fireball. Oh, gosh. Fireball. All this for one pose. All right, here we go. Posing. Fireball. We're gonna just make believe her hand is on her arm. Like a so. If you squint your eyes, this is always, sometimes that's an issue. Sometimes it like catches, the skin on the upper torso catches on the sort of abdomen piece if you push it forward too far. Notice that on a couple of other storm figures. Anyway, something, yeah, she's doing something like this. Throw in the fireball. Boom. Sean spray. Yeah, that's looks terrible. No. I did not do a good job with this pose. Okay, guys, what can I say? Anyway, my reference is a photo of the figure. Paint-wise, pretty good. Pretty clean job on her wings. Nice color separation. There is her eyes are very clean looking. Mouth very clean. Outfit, edges are a little fuzzy around here. You can see that. Does have a decent wash on her skin. Or is that a wash? It's more like a, they just airbrushed it. Maybe. I don't know if you could see that. But yeah. Gives her skin some color. Don't think there's any shading on her fur bits here. Hands looking good. Bats on her tights, I guess, are looking pretty good. Yeah, do have a little bit of, there's like a little spot right there. Yeah, I think it's not, yeah, I don't know, man. I think she looks good when she's like standing there, but it's like, it is an action figure, right? Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this is the same feeling I get whenever I get a Storm figure. It's like, they kind of look nice, but they're not the funnest to pose. I'm trying to think of one I thoroughly enjoy, and I'm having trouble here. I think Taki so far. I only have a couple of Storm figures, so take this with a grain of salt. But so far Taki has been my favorite Storm figure to just pose. I think she works pretty well, and I think that's mostly because she has a lot of armor and stuff that kind of hides her joints better than figures like this. And she doesn't have like a weird giant crotch thing. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not totally sold on their sort of design, the way they design figures. Like, I'm not sold on having this sort of hollow rubber body. I think it works in some cases, but in other cases, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Although this is mine's kind of a tough figure to do in that style, I think. And maybe in any style, if you're going with a sculpted outfit. Mine's pretty hard to do, I think. Like, how would you do it? Do you do a cut there? You gotta sculpt her outfits separately. That, I mean, there's gonna be weirdness no matter what, I think. But yeah, I think, yeah, Morrigan looks pretty good standing. I think as long as you're like not focused too much on looking at this part when her legs are bent, like as long as you avoid poses where like both her legs are bent, that's kind of the goal, I think. Or you've got to try and find a pose that just kind of works a little better. Kind of like that that's not too bad right there if you just kind of do something like that. Like it's not pushing it out weirdly. But yeah, once you start pushing both legs, it starts looking funky. Let's try and take a look under the hood here. Yeah, kinda the same. All right, dissection time. Maybe. Okay. I think we can just pull this part off. Not that we need to. Maybe I shouldn't do it. I pulled apart just because I was trying to fix like what's going on here. So I know it's like can't stand this. Like, what is it? At least make it look the same on both sides. I don't know. Gosh, why does it look like this? I think maybe mine is just, I don't know, is my just kind of deformed here, or is it always like this where one side looks like that and the other side looks like this? If anybody has mine, let me know what yours looks like. If it looks different from that just bugs me though. At least be consistent with your little diapers. Yeah, I'm not gonna take this apart. Honestly, I don't really want to. I think we know what we're looking at here. We got a ball joint there, got a ball joint up here, or dumbbell joints. Yeah, it's very similar. That part gets caught there. I feel like they could, I don't know. This happens a lot. I feel like it just kind of gets caught on there if you push it too far. So you just got to be kind of careful with that. Make sure you can get that skin back over that piece. All right. Alrighty. Shall we? I'm gonna put this head on just so we can see this goofiness in all its glory. Hi guys. So goofy, man. It's too much. It's too much. I don't know. If you like this, tell me why. Tell me what your reasons are. I want to know. Seriously. Not gonna hate on you. Don't worry. Yes. Okay. We all have different likes. Yeah, I like silly faceplates too. Like different expressions and like really weird ones. Um, for me, this is a little too far though. I don't know. Like it doesn't. It it does appear in the game, right? So there's that. But it's like Dark Stalkers was animated to be like animation basically. That was like one of the first games where they had a sort of cell shaded look to them, to the sprites. And so there were like a lot of like cartoony over the top animations, and this is like one of them. um is it one that I wanted to see? No. Like I don't think ever I would ever be like, if we could have all the faceplates in the world for a character, I don't know if I would ever think to put this one in. you know. I mean, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting that they thought of doing this. So there's like someone over there is like looking at every frame of animation and trying to figure out what they can do. And so I guess props for like having fun with it and like doing that doing that kind of research, I guess. But it is weird. Like, yeah, this could be so bad it's good type of material, like meme meme worthy, you know. It's like the that Woody face. Almost. But it's a different expression, of course, but the Toy Story Woody. Um, it is wild. That's wild, though. It's who knows? I don't know. Maybe I will grow to like totally adore this being included, just because it's so weird. You know? Who knows? Right now, I don't feel that way, but but one day I might. This is her more serious. Wait, is this her serious? No, this is her. This is supposed to be like her angry face. This is like her. Wait. Hmm. I don't know. I feel like the differences between these two faces are maybe a little too subtle. Maybe they could have pushed the angriness a little further. Um, so what are we looking at here? Her eyebrows are a little further down. Um, Struggling here. I don't know. Other than that, maybe her jawline is different. She's clenching her teeth more, maybe. I don't know. It's very subtle. And I think they could have like included maybe a more seductive face. Like this one is kind of smiling, but I wouldn't say it's seductive, right? It's just got a slight smile to it. But I mean, she's a succubus, and there's plenty of sort of expressions they could have gone with. I mean, just looking at the artwork on the box itself, right? Like yeah, maybe even just one where her eyebrows are more relaxed. Would have been good. These are a little too close to neutral for me. I don't know. It's like be a little more expressive. At a quick glance, you can't tell the difference. They almost look identical if you just quickly glance at these. So yeah, maybe this is the best head sculpt, guys. This is the best one. It's doing something different. It's doing something. Let's put her normal. Wait. Are all of these are all kind of flowing outwards. All of the hairs, all of the alternate hair pieces are kind of flowing outwards. This is kind of the only neutral hair we can put on her. But yeah, standing there looks great. Let's see. Do they use... Let's take a look at these photos again. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play the game again just to see like what is the context for these hands. About to grab someone maybe. But yeah. Anyways. Morrigan. That's Morrigan for you. I don't think these hands are cool. Let's put them both on. Why not? Cool. So she can be... What does she do? Do. Very expressive hands. I like that. Yeah. There's that shot of her in the intro of Darkstalkers, if you remember. Somebody remembers that. All right. But yeah. overall, I think she does look like Morrigan, and that's great. Decent, like pretty typical articulation, which is pretty good. Of course, these are weirdly scaled, as all Storm collectibles are. They should really stop saying these are 1/12 scale, because I don't think they are, right? Thought I had a ruler here. Hold on, let me, where's my ruler? Let's find out. How tall are you, buddy? Alright. Alright, yeah, I mean, she is well over 7 inches here from feet to top of head. That is not 1/12 scale, buddy. But if you collect Storm, you should know that by now. Okay, but if you don't, be aware of that. It's not gonna fit in. You're not gonna be doing Capcom versus Marvel with this. Okay? It's gonna look weird. Alright. Well, I think we covered everything. Let me know if you guys are skipping this one. I'm still on the fence about this. Like, I don't know if I regret buying it. I don't know if I regret buying it. I don't know if I'm happy to have it. No problem, man. I mean, I think if I didn't have it, I'd be fine. I would not be like, I would not be saying I need that figure, you know? And I think that kind of sums up what this figure is like. It is not a must buy in my opinion. Unless if you're a super fan of Morrigan, then yeah, buy it. But I don't know. I do think she looks good, like just standing. I think she'll display very well on a shelf like this. In a cool pose, in a cool standing pose, you know? I think she'll be like, oh, that's Morrigan. As long as you can keep this from looking weird, you're golden, all right? She looks great. But I mean, I like this character. I mean, I've played Darkstalkers. I've played all the games. I would use her a lot in playing the games. And yeah, I would love to have an awesome figure of her. And I'm not sure yet if this is it. If that makes sense. I mean, have there been other action figures of her? I'm trying to think. Maybe like maybe unofficial ones, right? But I can't even picture one in my head right now. I can't remember seeing one. There's a bunch of statues and stuff. I don't know if there's been good action figures though. Oh yeah, dude. Are you talking about the Bishojo statue? That thing. I don't have that, but I want that. I think that one looks awesome. And all the people who have it say that it looks great. So I really regret passing that or not buying that when it was like more available. But yeah, that's one of the figures I wish I'd bought. Yeah, I'm kind of. I want to like this figure more than I do. Does that make sense? But I don't know if I do though. I feel like I don't know. I'm just on the fence. I think I'm still on the fence about this. I like her better than Mai, that's for sure. I think she's a much more successful figure than Mai. Do I like her more than Taki? Or any other figure I have from Storm? Gosh. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is hard. This one's kind of tough. Because she actually does look good for the most part, as long as you're like not deforming her too much. Like the transition from her torso to her legs is actually, it looks better than I thought it would. Yeah. I don't know, man. This one's a tough one. Like, it's definitely not a must buy for me, though. I could say that for sure. Like, if I had missed this one, I think I'd be fine. But I mean, maybe I wouldn't. Would I know that though, without having it? I guess it's nice having a decent Morrigan figure. She is a decent Morrigan figure. Okay, so if you've been wanting a Morrigan figure, action figure, posable figure, it's not bad. It's probably the best Morrigan action figure that I've seen. But then again, the only other ones I've seen are like vintage ones. Okay, so maybe from like decades ago. She worth the high price tag? No. My gut says no. You'd have to be. I think if you're a super fan of Morrigan, if you have like a focus collection of Morrigan, or if you just need to have a Morrigan action figure, I think that might be the only reason. I don't know. To spend the money on her. It's hard. I think it all depends on how much you want a Morrigan figure. Like, I wouldn't say I'm a super fan of her, but I mean, I do like the character. I have wanted a good figure of her. And I would like to see her done justice in action figure form. I don't know if this quite does justice, but I do think it's maybe the best Morrigan figure we've had because there's just not been a lot of them. You know? Gosh. I think, okay, if she's your main, then maybe she is worth picking up. Because I think she does. I think she does look good. Sculpt wise, I think she looks good. You know? I mean, I wish. What? I mean, this part is a little weird. I think that's. I don't know. Maybe we're just getting too hung up on the weirdness here. But when she bends her legs, and maybe we shouldn't hold that against her too much. But if you've had a Storm figure before, it's pretty typical in terms of articulation, sculpt. I do think she looks good overall. I don't know. I'm still. I think I'm still like. Still processing my feelings about this figure. I do like her face, like just looking at it right now. Like, it looks good. Like, I like it. It does look like her. Not exactly like the artwork, but it does. I can't quite place the style of this face, if you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't quite match up with how she looks in these images. And who did these? Bengus, maybe? Like, I don't think this is a Bengus face. But it definitely looks like some other Capcom artist. I just can't place it right now. I do wish there were more variety, a bigger difference between these heads. They're just way too similar. Yeah, I agree. Overall, the SH figure arts, they do way better at sort of these kind of anime faces, I think. Yeah, Storm is just. They're very, I feel like they're very hit and miss with their head sculpts, female head sculpts, especially. My disappointed with my Taki's not bad because she has a mask on. Okay. Who else do I have here? I've got some else. Who else do I got here? I got this dude. I got this guy. This guy. Let's pull him up. I think these are all my Storm figures right here. So we got. This is like one of my only male Storm figures. And I like that. I think they're really good at male face sculpts. Female head sculpts, it's a little iffy. They're not terrible. They're not terrible. But they're also not quite hitting the mark for me. Like Blue Mary, this was maybe my favorite head that she came with. Maybe because it's more expressive. But yeah, in general, I just don't, I don't know. Yeah, like, I don't know if I'm gonna buy any more Storm figures, to be honest. Like, that's kind of how I felt after I got Mai. Like, I was like Mai was such a disappointment for me. I was like, I don't want to pay for these. I don't want to pay for these. So I kind of don't know why I bought Morrigan. I think I only bought Morrigan because it's Morrigan, you know? And I was like, okay, I'll take a chance because it's Morrigan, and Morrigan hasn't really had a decent action figure. Take a chance. I think Lilith is going to be a little easier because she's just not as curvy. So at least that's my theory. But who knows? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. She's basically got the same outfit, just less curvy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm still, it's kind of a mixed bag for me, this figure. So I don't know, man. I don't even know. Like, it's tough, man. It's tough because there's not a lot of Morgan figures out there, action figures. So in that sense, it is one of the better ones. And who knows when we're going to get another Morgan figure, right? I don't think anybody has somebody announced one, official or unofficial. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. At this scale. So this, if you want a Morgan action figure, it's kind of like you gotta get this one. And how much are they selling this on Big Bad? Oh, I can't check right now because I'm using my phone, but to stream this. But I'm assuming it's over 100, maybe 110, 120. I don't know. I don't know what Big Bad sells these for. Oh, 109. 109. Yeah, if Jada does Morrigan, maybe that's the best bet. It might. I don't know if Jada's will look as clean, sort of. I don't know. Yeah, like, it's hard to say, honestly, because I don't know how Jada's going to approach it. It's definitely going to have more sort of points, right? It would have thigh cuts. The hip joints would probably be more obvious on a Jada Morrigan. Yeah, I I think it's all gonna come down to preference. What kind of what you're okay with, and yeah, because I don't know. Hopefully, uh, I wish I had the Cammy figure because she's a better comparison to Morrigan since they kind of have a similar outfit, you know. But then again, Cammy's kind of buffer too. That's one thing. Like Morrigan's very kind of slender, you know. And I don't think we've seen Jada do a slender female body yet. Like Chun Li is, she's pretty like, she's pretty muscular, you know, like almost stubby looking because she's so muscular. So it would be interesting to see if Jada can pull off the sort of slender curviness of Morgan properly. And I have a feeling their head sculpt for Morgan probably won't look as good as this. But who knows? If they do make one, they might be a lot better by that time, or they might have better sculptors for their female heads by that time. Someone else. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess it really comes down to your preferences and what you're willing to pay for. I um hmm. I think if you're just having this figure stand in a standing pose, she works well. She works well. She looks good. Um, would I pay 100 for this? I mean, I did. I already paid for. I did, but would I do it again? Would I do it again? I don't. I don't know right now. I really am on the fence about this figure. It's got pros, it's got cons, and it's not a must buy. It's not a for sure like this figure's so dope, it's you gotta get it, you know? It's not a sure thing. Ugh. Yeah, I don't, but I guess I don't know. I think that's just how I feel about all Storm figures in general. I don't think, this is my opinion, I don't think they're the greatest um, in terms of articulation. Like, they do have like all the points you might want, maybe a few less. But there's just something about these figures where I don't have as much fun posing them. Does that make sense? I don't I don't know. There's kind of I feel like there's a stiffness to them. They just look stiffer than they should. Or I feel like I have to work too hard to get them into a good looking pose. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the way they design their figures. Maybe it's the proportions they're doing. I don't know. just can't put my finger on it, man. Like, does anybody else feel that way? Like, just like Storm figures just give me a feeling that it could be better. I always get that feeling like it could be better, you know. Even on the good ones, I don't know. Even on the ones I really like there's just a feeling where it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just me, man. Maybe that's just me. Yeah, that could be. I mean, Morrigan definitely looks kind of washed out here. But I guess it all depends on what you're looking at too. I mean, they have this artwork on on their box, and it's like, look at how much her tights are popping here compared to the figure, and it's like, it's such a huge difference. Her hair is way greener, but if you look at like in-game graphics, I think it was more muted. Like her hair did look more like this, and her tights probably were not as purple as that, and probably were more like this. So I think this is somewhat accurate to like the game graphics and some other artwork, but it is interesting that they chose to put this artwork, or these artworks, that have such vibrant colors on them, because yeah, that's just not how the figure is. I don't know, but I do think like this green is too green. If that were on an actual figure, maybe that might be too much. Almost like Jokerish green. I don't know. Who knows, man? But yeah, I think it all depends. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'm gonna buy any more Storm figures. I'm just, I just don't get enthusiastic about them. Like I wasn't hyped to get this figure. Like I wasn't like, I've gotta order it. I reluctantly ordered it. You know what I mean? And I feel like I don't know. It's nice. It's nice, but I don't know if it's nice enough. Yeah, that's kind of the direction I've been heading. Cause like, you don't have to worry about the IP. Like they can just make their own stuff, go all out with it, right? Because it's their own design, and they usually like do so much more with their own designs than they could with an IP. But I mean, it is nice to get like a good figure of a character you like. And I don't know. I don't know about this. I think, okay. I think she's display worthy. Let's put it that way. Like, I definitely think she will look good on display in a sort of standing pose, okay? Or like some kind of pose like this or something, where her legs are not bent too much. I think she does look good. Like visually, she's pretty successful in this pose, in this standing pose. More so than like this garbage. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if anybody likes this figure. I don't like it. Like, this was definitely not worth my $100 or $80, whatever I paid for it. Good gravy. What is this? Yeah, honestly, I don't buy it. I don't know. Yeah, I think that might be the way to go. Wait for a sale, get her. Like, I don't know. I haven't really seen much buzz on this figure, so I don't really know, like, if people are looking forward to it. I don't know if she's gonna sell out. I think a lot of people want a good Morrigan figure, but I think a lot of the photos of her weird crotch just turned people off on this one. And I'm trying not to let that affect my opinion on her. I think if she were cheaper, yeah, definitely buy her. But when it gets to 100 and over 100, it's like, it gets harder. And I don't know. I mean, she does. I don't know. I keep going back and forth here. She does look nice. Like actually, visually, she's actually probably the most feminine looking figure. Or she looks the most. And then, I mean, she should, because of who she is. But I mean, she's definitely like the sort of sexiest female storm figure I have. And I think that it's successful at that. And her face is actually pretty good. I'm actually kind of impressed that her face looks this good from Storm. Like, I don't know. I don't expect, like, when I looked at the photos of their official photos of this thing, the marketing photos, I wasn't totally sold on the face. I was like, it might be a little weird. But having it in front of me, I was like, oh, this actually looks good. I actually like this. I actually like this face. Probably the best. Just her normal face. And yeah, I mean, yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. I know I am waffling hard on this thing. I don't know. I don't even know what I'd score this. Because, I mean, it is technically, I mean, I do like the way it looks overall. Not Marvel Legends. This figure is over 7 inches tall. So Marvel Legends are closer to 6 inches, right? So she's gonna be very huge. Do I have any here? Let me see if I got something nearby. What is this? What is this over here? Where are my Marvel Legends, anyways? Hold on. Hold on. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. What I got here? This doesn't really. Got this one. Where's my? I need a dude though. I have a Wolverine and Captain America somewhere, but do have this. Like I always put this in my videos, right? Marvel Legends, Gwen, and yeah, it's almost comical how giant Storm figures are in comparison. So yeah, not gonna work with Marvel Legends unless you're doing like some forced perspective photography. Even with like, yeah, like Storm is kind of their own scale, or closer to like 1/10, maybe 1/9 scale. So like, yeah, that's another disappointing thing with Storm, because it's like you can't do those kind of matchups or pairings, right? With other figure lines. So that bugs me too about Storm. It's another reason why I don't want to buy more of their stuff. It's not really compatible with other figures, scale wise. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I mean, I have to say I do like the way she looks, but yeah, I don't think I need her. But she does look good. I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, she looks. I think she actually will display very nicely. You just gotta avoid making this part look weird. I don't know. It's kind of tough because it's like they're very different body types too. I think they both look pretty. Like Tyrus is like, was she my first female? She might have been my first female Storm figure, actually. She's not bad. Yeah, she's pretty cool. And I guess it's kind of a similar situation where it's like, if you want a figure of this character, this is kind of like the best option at the time. Like, there's no other Tyrus Flare action figure. There's not really any other Morrigan action figure right now. So it's kind of like, if you want a Morrigan action figure, this is it for now. Until there's a third party, or until Jada makes one, or until there's a, yeah. They could have done more. I do, yeah, I mean, gosh. I do wish the articulation were a little better here. It's a weird trade-off, man. I don't know. It is very strange. It's killing me here. I don't know. I mean, I get it. They're just trying to hide the gaps here, but gosh. Like when you can't. It's actually like it hides the gaps pretty well. Gosh, am I like trying to convince myself to like this thing more than I should, or is it actually a decent figure? This question here. Gosh. I do think it's the most, I think it succeeds at capturing her curviness pretty good. And I like her face. I think I've said that a couple times already. So yeah, I don't know, guys. Why don't you... gosh, yeah, I can't. I don't know, man. This one's a tough one. Storm is... God, I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. Like going around in circles here. I'm going around in circles already. I can't make a decision. Oh no. I like it. I don't love it. And if you want, I think... Okay. Let's think about, would I rather have this or would I rather have the Bishojo Morrigan statue? I think I'd rather have the Bishojo Morrigan statue. Huh. Anyway, I don't know, man. I think we should just wrap this up. I can't. I'm just going around and around already. All right. So hopefully this has kind of helped you in some way to make a decision on this figure. It's not terrible. Gosh. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. That's the selling line. It's not terrible. Like, I think what I like about this figure is that it doesn't look as stiff as my other Storm female figures. She actually looks a little more like her pose, like you can pose her in a little, like she looks more natural. I think that's what I like about it. She looks a bit more natural, like herself. Whereas this, like, it's not a bad Blue Mary, but there's something stiff about it. Like her posture, I don't know if it's her posture, her proportions. Like, I just have trouble making her look like a human, like a real, like a good, like I find it tough to get these into a natural looking pose. Like even Tyrus Flare, like she looks great on the dragon. I usually have her on her dragon and it's awesome. But when I take her off, I did find it kind of hard to like find like a more natural, like a natural pose. Like there's something stiff about these figures. I'm not sure what it is. But I just have trouble posing them more than I feel like I should. Or getting them, like it's like harder to get them into a pose I like. I don't know. But at least with Morrigan, I think she actually looks like, even just standing like this, she actually looks kind of natural, right? Does anybody understand that? Anybody else seeing that? Or am I like, hope that makes sense. So that's kind of what I think I'm liking about this figure. There's kind of you can get her into like a natural looking stance. Maybe it's like, maybe it has to do with the shoulders. Because I feel like maybe Blue Mary's neck is too long. Her shoulders are like not high enough. Looks a little weird. Something about it is just off. And Tyrus, I almost feel like her neck's too short. Like it's like there's all these like little things that just make them look off just a little bit, a little less unnatural. Like Taki, maybe her torso's a little too long looking compared to her head size. I still like Taki overall, but I think that's one of their more successful figures. But in terms of like, so like, I think that's what I like about this Morrigan figure is that her proportions actually look pretty good. Her neck, the length of her neck, where her shoulders are, like I think all of that actually looks really good. And I think the size of her hips looks good too. Like I like they capture her hourglass sort of shape here pretty well. And yeah, this is, as long as you keep that flat, she looks pretty good. um, so yeah, I think that's why I'm having trouble here, because I think I really do like the way she looks when she's standing here like this. Like this is the most female or the most feminine looking female figure I've seen from Storm. All these other ones are like too stiff, too like you cannot make this figure look sexy. And that's like one of Mai's traits, right? And it's like it's very hard to make this thing look sexy. I don't know, in my opinion. Whereas with Morrigan, I think she actually looks pretty sexy. Like just standing there without much posing. So I think that's like the best thing about it. I think that's what I like about it the most is that her body is actually well proportioned. It doesn't look stiff to me like these other figures do. And I think that's why I'm liking the figure. That's okay. Am I coming around on this thing? Maybe I am. I don't know. I think that's why that's why I can't say this is like a terrible figure. It's not a terrible figure. Um, so yeah, I think that's why I'm like going back and forth, because I do like the look of the figure. I do like the way they've proportioned her properly. Um, So yeah, that's sort of my take. Hopefully I explained how I feel about it pretty well. I still don't know if I can recommend it. I mean, I think it's kind of like, it's definitely not like a must buy, but like, gosh, I don't know, man. this this is a tough one. Do I like this figure now? I don't know. Ugh. I think it's I think it's I think it's one of Storm's more feminine figures. Like, they've captured the feminine form. Probably, like, this is the best feminine figure I have that they've made, just because it doesn't look as stiff as the other ones I have, if that makes sense. Like, I want to like this figure more, but there's just something off about it. It doesn't, she's just too stiff looking. Maybe if you could, like, that might be it, you know? If they could just improve their neck articulation, like the lower joint, like, if you're gonna make a joint in there, make it usable. You know, because it's just, this rubber is just too hard. It's too hard. It makes it worthless. So it's like, I feel like this figure only looks good in very specific angles and very specific poses. And I want it to be like, I want it to look good in multiple angles. And I think that's why this figure is actually kind of successful, because she actually retains that femininity from all angles. As long as you're not like making this area look weird, okay? That's the caveat there. Don't make this thing look weird. And this figure is maybe it's actually good. Oh man, I don't know. Feel like I've been on a journey on this with this figure. Gosh. Ugh. Anyway. Yeah, I'm still not sure I think I just have to like live with it a little bit. You know? Oh, I don't know if I regret buying it. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't regret buying it. Anyway, I think I've gone around in circles enough times. Thank you guys for joining. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Didn't miss anything, right? We kind of looked at everything. There's nothing else in the box. Maybe this is my last Storm figure. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. But it is... that is Morrigan. I don't... God, I want to like it, I think. Maybe I like it. That's my assessment. Maybe you'll like it. Gosh. Okay, so she's not strong in the articulation area because of her hips. But I think look wise, it's pretty good. All right? All right. Anyway, thank you guys for joining. And who knows? I do want to... I'm trying to think what other figures I'm going to have coming in. But I will try to do another live stream when I get my next figure. All right. Thank you guys for joining. Like and subscribe if you liked this. I have fun doing this. I have fun looking at these. And I hope you do too. So, all right. I'll see you guys later.